Mr. Speaker, though I still have a few days left before the end of my term, I wanted to take this opportunity to thank the constituents for allowing me to represent them in the U.S. House of Representatives for so many years. Whether it's been helping a veteran obtain the VA assistance he or she needs, or fighting for our dreamers, or securing funds for important projects in our community, or passing critical legislation to help those oppressed by totalitarian regimes, or one of the many, many other duties that you have entrusted to me, I have been honored to serve the people of South Florida in this distinguished body for almost 30 years, and I've played a small part in making our slice of paradise an even better place in which to live. Every day when I come to this floor, when I walk these hallowed halls, or when I look at that magnificent Capitol dome lit up, I pinch myself to make sure that I am not dreaming. And that is because as a political refugee, I have a unique perspective on the greatness of our nation. America opened its arms to my family and to me as we fled the communist Castro regime. When we arrived in Miami, it was in one of the last commercial flights out of Cuba. I was only 8 years old. So to think that I have been elected to serve in the U.S. Congress, that I became the first Hispanic woman to serve in Congress, and the first woman to chair the House Foreign Affairs Committee is simply astounding, not because it's about me, but it says a lot about the greatest democracy that man has ever created, the United States of America. We are a country that says you can be successful no matter where you started, and that is something that we do not ever take for granted in my South Florida community, where it seems like almost everyone seems to be from somewhere else. My constituents are also a testament to the endless possibilities that all of us have as free Americans. Mr. Speaker, where I was born is not just a place listed on my passport. It has defined how I view the world through the prism of democracy, of freedom, of the rule of law, of human rights. These are fundamental American principles that have guided my legislative record. I have been honored to fight for equal rights for all people by joining efforts that will put an end to the discrimination and the violence against individuals based on their sexual orientation or gender identity. I have been advocate for the natural allies of our country, like the democratic Jewish state of Israel, her right to exist, and her right to defend herself. To secure support for a free trade agreement with Colombia, one of our biggest trading partners in Latin America, and to promote U.S. assistance that allows Taiwan to resist Beijing's increasing coercion. I've also worked to promote religious autonomy for the people of Tibet, who are also victims of Chinese aggression, to reestablish democracy and the rule of law in my native homeland of Cuba, in Nicaragua, in Venezuela, in Syria, and in so many other countries, and to sanction rogue regimes like that in Iran, in Russia, North Korea, and also those who wish to do us harm. Domestic issues have been priorities for me as well, Mr. Speaker. Growing up in South Florida, I learned to appreciate the wonderful natural resources all around us, and I have made it my priority to protect those treasures so that future generations are also able to enjoy them. I've worked to re-nourish our beautiful South Florida beaches, to restore the seagrass beds and coral reefs, to provide for advanced wastewater treatment in our beloved Florida Keys, and to reinvigorate our Miami River. Throughout my tenure, I've represented Miami International Airport and Port Miami, two of the largest economic engines to our county that serve as gateway to the Americas and support thousands of jobs and economic development across our Sunshine State. As the wife of a Vietnam veteran who was wounded in combat and a stepmother to Marine aviators, I have been proud to support our military and our veterans. During my time in Congress, I authored legislation awarding the Congressional Gold Medal to the World War II Women Air Force Service Pilots, WASP, and supported efforts to reinstate burial rights at Arlington National Cemetery to these women pioneers. I supported legislation to protect victims of domestic violence and some of the most vulnerable people in our society. Mr. Speaker, each one of these issues are important not only to me, but to our community in South Florida, and I will carry them wherever I go next. I want to thank the hardworking staff and interns with whom I've had the delight to work throughout my tenure in Congress. Some are still looking for jobs. Please hire them. And I want to thank my loving and supportive family, my parents, Abu Mandi and Abu Kiki. I know you're watching me from heaven. Thank you for encouraging me to run for office and for your love in every step of the way. Dexter, Wayne, thank you for supporting me on this and joining me on this crazy adventure, for your unwavering support. And the same goes to our adult children, Rodrigo, Patricia, Douglas, and Catherine. I'm so proud of each and every one of you, and I know that you have accomplished so much and still some more to come. And I hope to have contributed to leaving a better world for our 5 grandchildren to enjoy, with a 6th one coming before the new Congress is sworn in. I thank each one of my colleagues from both sides of the aisle who have worked with me in a bipartisan manner throughout my 3 decades in Congress. I will continue to cheer on my pals in the bipartisan Congressional Women's Softball game. Mr. Speaker, it truly has been the highest honor of my professional life to represent the great people of South Florida. I'm excited to start a new chapter in my life, and for whatever life throws at me, all I have to say is, put me in, Coach. Muchas gracias. Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. Thank you to